grade at Cleveland Elementary School. She received her Bachelor of Arts in Education from FAMU. She's currently pursuing a master's degree in instructional technology from Georgia Southern University. Her career began in Chicago at the Marva Collinson's West Side Preparatory School. I remember seeing that on 2020 when that was highlighted when I was younger. After relocating to Atlanta, she decided to continue her love for teaching by starting a consulting business specializing in school reform model professional development for teachers. She has taught in Cobb County as a 5th grade teacher, and she transitioned in 2005 as a middle school language arts and social studies teacher at World Changers Academy. An advocate for children, she is also the founder and the CEO of Just Be Beautiful, Inc. This is a girls mentoring organization. She is a passionate educator and visionary, and she's committed to making a difference beyond the walls of her classroom. She believes that teachers embody the very essence of what it means to educate children. She is no stranger to obstacles. She has managed to accomplish many achievements in spite of being hearing impaired for over 3 decades. She is the recipient of many awards and accolades during her 20 years in education. Among them, 2009-2010 Project Grad Exemplary Teacher Award, 2013-14 the Atlanta Public Schools Districtwide Teacher of the Year. That's why I saw our picture. 2014-15 the Symetra Falcons Heroes in the Classroom Award recipient, and she was named one of 10 finalists for the Georgia 2015 Teacher of the Year by State School Superintendent Dr. John Barge, and a 2014-15 Atlanta Families Awards for Excellence in Education Distinguished Educator. She is the 3rd APS teacher to be named a finalist for Georgia Teacher of the Year. I present to everyone Rita Simmons.
Good afternoon, morning. First, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude towards Crystal Calloway. Where are you? Oh, for your abundant vision. I truly appreciate how you take a person's challenges and you take them and they can be someone else's triumph. So I appreciate you inviting me here because you embody Roland Barthes, the Culture Builders statement. Every member of a community holds some responsibility for the welfare of every other and for the welfare of the community as a whole. So thank you so much. I would also like to acknowledge and extend a huge thank you to my principal, Dr. Rhonda Webrasia. Your support and your leadership are priceless and long-lasting. You have completely manifested Francis Stetson's quote for inclusive schools, which says, inclusion of members, ideas, and contributions leads to increased strength and resilience for the individual and for the organization. So thank you so much. I brought this bag up here because I just wanted to give you a visual of what it looks like for someone that's hearing impaired with my challenges. And I carry around this bag to give people a visual of the things that I have to carry for my hearing impairment. Right now you don't see my hearing aid, it's in this bag. I have to irrigate my ear at times because I have a severe wax buildup in both ears where at any given time I'm at school, I can't hear the children. So I have to step out and kind of irrigate my ears so that I can hear them, or my principal will allow me to leave so that I can go to the doctor so that they can fix my ears. So this is my visual because this bag is actually filled with all of my little things that I carry around with me to my job. This is what it takes to function being permanently deaf in my right ear. Confucius said our greatest victory or glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. I'd like to share with you today how every time I fail, every time I would stumble, I rose. 37 years ago, I became permanently deaf in my right ear. At the age of 5, my cochlear or inner ear had succumbed to a series of massive ear infections. No amount of medicine, doctor's basic care, or my mother's love had the power to restore my ability to hear. School life fared well for me for the first 2 years into being hearing impaired. I did not mind that my mother informed my kindergarten and first grade teachers, oh, she needs to sit in the front at all times. I didn't mind that. But it was during this moment and this time I noticed that this was a non-judgmental age. So I felt accepted. I felt comfortable. I was okay. I wasn't in fear or ashamed until a few years later, when I began to observe or take notice of the ignorant, selfish, and insensitive reactions of human beings, including fellow classmates and adults. Inclusion awareness and initiatives were a distant dream for those of us who desperately needed it at that time. To be shielded from bullying, to be shielded from neglect, to be brought in and to be included. We needed that. Unfortunately, the inclusion awareness, state mandates, and programs were instituted long after my formative years. So now, I will advocate for others. During my elementary years, I encountered a few people who did not need inclusion. They did not need the awareness. It was because they had the compassion and they had an innate feeling to include us. That innate level of compassion was embodied into my late piano teacher. Allow me to share her story. Claudine Wicks was the mother of the great jazz saxophonist and trumpeter Sonny Stitt. Mrs. Wicks, or Mommy Wicks, the name she preferred, was an outstanding piano teacher who stood only 5 feet tall and weighed approximately 110 pounds. Despite her delicate frame, she was able to command an audience of any size. Mommy Wicks was an earnest and cordial human being, and she embodied great characteristics such as genius, compassion, and patience. She did not believe in I can't or limitations. Therefore, when my mother and I revealed to her that I was permanently deaf in my right ear, she kissed my cheek and sat on my left side from that day forward. I was extremely embarrassed about being deaf, but Mommy Wicks was not vexed by my physical disability. She did not wince at the fact that my inner ear had been damaged since the age of 5. In her eyes, she saw a whole human being who had the ability to learn how to play this beautiful instrument. Needless to say, for the next 9 years, she taught me to read hymns and classical music, as well as to, get this, play by ear. Mommy Wicks and I were joined at the hip. At 70+ years old, she offered piano lessons in her modest home, only charging $2 for a 30-minute Saturday morning session. Wow, I tell you, she was phenomenal. I loved her. I considered her to be my Saturday morning superhero. She was my breath of fresh air on the weekends. She was my respite. She broke the monotony of weekly taunts. She broke the monotony of weekly assignments. She held me, and she helped me through. Her compassion for people and love of playing the piano was infectious. It was so infectious that I pleaded with my mother to buy me a piano for my 16th birthday. And my mother realized how important playing the piano was to me, so she saved up her money and purchased an upright Boss & Sons piano. Now, I had the opportunity to practice multiple times. To practice that before I could go outside, I had to practice. But I had the opportunity to prepare for monthly recitals. And my great piano teacher, the genius, was proud of me during those recital performances, and I was stunned. My confidence level increased, but not enough for me to counter schoolmate taunts, personal shame, and embarrassment. Therefore, I knew that I had to overcompensate for my disability. I did, by excelling in ballet, tap, jazz dance, playing the piano and tennis, the school spelling bees, as well as poetry and oral recitation. I had to get even by succeeding. It became apparent to me that I would have to create my own inclusion. It was time to adapt, to shield myself, and to attempt to fit in. I refused to wear a hearing aid. I wanted people to meet me and to get to know Rita, not the girl who's hearing impaired. I did not want sympathy, I did not want stares, and I certainly did not want special privileges. I truly believed that if I hid my disability, things would be easier for everyone, including my teachers and my mom. Well, I was wrong. As I matured into adulthood, it was as though I included myself by default when I became proficient in reading lips, automatically moving to the right of a person, always asking, pardon me, excuse me, what did you say? Informing my car passengers to speak up, and being inspired to learn just a little bit of sign language. Some of that inspiration came during my first year of teaching for Marva Collins in Chicago. I had the awesome opportunity to meet the former Miss America, Heather Whitestone, who is deaf. When she walked into my classroom, she extended her hand, looked into my eyes, read my lips as I proclaimed my pride in meeting her. And I said to myself, if she can achieve at being Miss America and getting this title, there are no excuses for me. I am now comfortable wearing a hearing aid and informing others that I'm hearing impaired, even my students. When I tell them that they all gasp and they ask as if I'm not telling them the truth. So, why do they react this way? It's because they are seemingly they see me as a perfect human being who manages to teach, create, become Districtwide Teacher of the Year, finalist for the state, founder of a girls mentoring organization. They see all of these accomplishments, and this appearance and success, to them, they equate that to perfection. This is why inclusion awareness in APS is essential. Although I strive to display an image of perfection growing up, I had to realize that perfection doesn't equate to accomplishments. Being efficient and effective does. Even though I thought that I had to overcompensate, it was divine order that I have achieved so much. Claudine Mommy Wicks will be so proud of me. And I often think of her as I advocate for, motivate, and encourage my students to do their very best, because I am now the teacher who does not believe in I can'ts or limitations. Thank you so much.